Welcome to Newrealities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and if you've been watching the show, you know that I'm always interested in the latest technology, the latest gifts of evolution, what we as light workers, as beings are becoming energy, aware of our energy bodies, have as tools now in our time to accelerate this conscious evolution. And so that's why I'm interviewing today Peter Schnell and his beautiful collection of Litios Light Crystals. They're not, he didn't develop them, but he'll be talking about them, but they're very powerful, energetic tools. So thanks, Peter, for being here. These are glass.
That's correct.
So most people, we've all been through our quartz crystal phase. This is something else. I mean, you can feel them. You think some of this could be communicated from people watching, or do they have to be in the presence of this? Or
we have had people who've gone on the website and have tuned into the crystals and write back saying, wow, these are very, very powerful.
I mean, I feel something in them. They're kind of a different, subtler energies,
Correct.
But it's a movement. So what's going on with these?
Okay. So the Litios Light Crystals were developed in Germany, and so to my own person, I spent 30 years in Europe, and I enjoyed that time, and that's where we discovered it.
He's an engineer, actually, and very left brain, but also very sensitive to energy. So
Correct.
You're in Germany. These come from Germany. Yes. How did you discover these?
I'd been living in Europe for 30 years. We came back to my homeland, Canada, 1 year ago, and 10 years ago, it was my wife who discovered the light crystals for us.
Your wife is German.
My wife is German, Ursula Schnell. She's a doctorate in biology.
Oh.
I have my engineering, so we've been doing spiritual work together for 25 years, and we basically complement each other very, very well.
So
she went to a spiritual show, and the founders of Litios Light Crystals were there. They had a booth. They had the crystals displayed. She saw them. She immediately connected to the energy. She felt a very strong energy, so she brought some home, and she showed them to me. So, as is the case, it's often the wife who discovers the good things first, and the husband gets to enjoy it afterwards. So that's how we discovered them, and we got more and more of them because we found them extremely intense and gentle.
But what do you find about these that are different than regular quartz crystals?
Okay. So maybe I'll tell about the story of how they were developed.
Yeah,
about the founders.
This is really great,
Okay.
how the founders actually activate, because these all have to be activated. They're not just pieces of glass. There's actually something done to these to have this energetic empowerment. So
Okay.
tell.
So Edwin and Antje Eisler, her name is Antje, and they'd always been interested in spiritual things, but they had been in normal life. They have 5 common children. He was a successful businessman, but from the age of 20 onwards, they prayed or meditated every single day, either both together or one of them. So they were very, very connected. Perhaps it was an inner calling. And about 17, 18 years ago, they were in a meditation evening, and before the meditation evening began, she was supposed to lead the meditation. It was just a group of 6 couples meeting every Wednesday night, so to speak. And she's about to begin a meditation, a light came into her, so she was completely infused and overshadowed by an ascended master. And she said it was fully blissful, it was complete, at one with the universe, and she felt what it was like to be an ascended master with unconditional love and all the things that you would associate it with. The master was the Master Jesus. And she spoke the words. She had to. She said she would have burst if she wouldn't have said them. And the words she spoke were so powerful that when it was finished and she came back, the group was quite astounded what happened.
What were the words?
I don't know. It was some very clear words.
It was a message from Jesus that she channeled through.
That's how it started, yes.
Okay.
And she thought it was a one-shot because she's this very shy, unassuming, wonderful lady and mother of 5 children. But then it happened again and again. So for about 2 years, they were getting channeling, her and her husband, and in retrospect they were being trained, but they learned all about the spiritual hierarchy, where we're going, where the planet is going, Atlantis, Lemuria, what the game plan is for the shift, and that it's actually happening. So she had many, many different masters and teachers, and at some point the Archangel Metatron came to her for the first time, and she said his energy was so clear that she asked him to come in and clear her channel before she would channel someone else, and at that point he announced that he would take over her direct guidance.
What does that mean, take over her direct guidance?
That he would be constantly with her, and she could connect very quickly to him, and he would be there. so she could get the information that she needed. And
so she became like a channel for Metatron.
she became a channel for Metatron,
Okay.
and she's also very strongly connected to High Priest Melchizedek, and of course
Well,
Jesus.
what is Metatron known for? I mean, I know lots of people. call him-
Metatron, yeah, it's interesting. I hadn't heard really about Metatron. He doesn't have the same press as he has in the Christian Bible. He is mentioned in the Jewish scriptures, I believe. And he's considered a light lord, so officially it's not, Archangel is not totally accurate. He was one of the very first, let's say, manifested beings in the universe that came out of the nothingness, the eye of God. And he was part of the one that when God said let there be light, he created light and the universe. So he and the Elohim and all the different groups that created the universes and the galaxies and manifested down to physical reality as we know it, he was part of it.
So Metatron started to come through this woman, and then how does all the crystals fit in?
So then about half a year later, she and her husband were in meditation, and he basically asked them if they'd be willing to do light crystals of the New Age. And they asked, well, what is that? And so now here's the interesting part. They're both in meditation, and he took them both simultaneously out of their body into the light bodies and took them back in time, and he showed them where they were in Atlantis, where they were the evolved beings that many of us were. They were high priests in the temples of Atlantis, connected to the angelic realm. So at the time in Atlantis, during the Golden Age, the aura of the planet was much bigger. We were much more in tune with universal law. We could communicate telepathically. We could move energy consciously. It was all part of normal civilization. And a lot of Atlantis was being powered, of course, by stepping down the high divine light and then basically transferring it through thought and power, not through electrical wires like we have, and that may be coming soon, that we will be able to work with energy like that. But they saw that they were there in this, and they also saw that they took the highest primordial light from the angelic realm and anchored it, infused it into light crystals like this.
Back in Atlantis.
And it was the angels doing it. So they were the incarnates, the one anchoring the energy, but it was the angels doing it work back in Atlantis. So they saw themselves doing this, and they, after, I guess, sleeping on it for one night, they agreed to it. So they've been given exact instructions by Metatron how to set up a room energetically with the angels together. And then when this room was completed, it was effectively this extremely powerful room for receiving this portable light. And they will take a group of crystals, put it in the room, and close the door.
Crystals like this, glass crystals.
It will be glass crystals. So they source the glass crystals. Most of the crystals are their own design. So you're holding, for example, a lotus sphere.
Yeah.
So they will take a number of lotus spheres, put it in this room, and then they will close the door. What the clairvoyants see, of course, is that there's a huge portal of light coming into the house, into this room. They say that Metatron comes down and he spins his cube, turns it into a diamond light temple, and then for 3 to 5 days, these are infused with the highest
They sit in a
primordial
room for
light.
3 to 5 days.
Correct, yes.
Like baking in the
Yes,
energy.
baking in the light, that's right, yeah.
And there's different energies to different...
Correct, that's right, because we have different crystals. So all of them share this infused light from the highest light. So all the frequencies and all the dimensions up to the highest light are actually manifested here. So you could call this a manifestation of high divine light. And now Metatron also said, we know you're going through the shifts. We know what's happening. Of course, we're in the plan for the earth to make the shift to the next level. So humanity is ready once again to use divine light tools like this. So this is a gift. And he says, we understand your ups and downs. So we're giving these light tools so that with all the ups and downs, if you have these crystals around you, it will help to flatten the up and down a little bit and keep you centered and allow you to do your learning without being too distracted.
But also these these are like, feel like activate. I mean, if I hold this to my third eye, I feel a little pulsation, like it's
Correct.
like it's increasing my frequency or something.
So this one is called an evolutionary wand, and this really connects straight up to the primordial light, and you connect to the divine blueprints as well. So what you can do is you can call them divine blueprints. It pulls it in, so when I hold it, I feel just much light coming through here. So this is really about activating down to the cell level of remembering or recalling the cells, reminding them that they are much bigger and that they have the 12-strand DNA.
So these people in Germany, what's their names again?
Edwin and Antje Eisele.
And they're in southern Germany.
They're based in southern Germany, correct?
And they pulled in different energies. How many different types of energies are there?
We have about 60, 65 different light crystals.
Oh, really?
From very small pendants that you wear, and I'm wearing a pendant here, you can see,
Yeah.
to, let's say, light crystals, spheres, or other objects that you would put in the room. And the intention is that they, of course, all of them have this light that they radiate, and then very often there may be a certain additional master who will give his or her gift into the light crystal of their virtues that they wish to radiate. So, for example, we have a Buddha pendant, of course, so all the aspects of Buddha with enlightenment and serving, all those are contained also in it. So if you have a connection with Buddha, or let's say the lessons you need to learn are similar to ones that the Buddha represents, then you can use the pendant and have it and wear it in your aura, and energetically it would infuse you with this, let's say, guidance. And one other thing I need to say about the light crystals is, and this is the question with quartz. Yeah. What's the difference?
Yeah, why can't they use, why have to, this is glass, basically.
This is glass,
of course, infused. But
that's correct, yeah. I have a history in energy work. I definitely sense energies. I can feel it. When I work with crystals, I can see the energies, or I know where the energies is. That would be more accurate. And now, of course, quartz crystals belong to the mineral kingdom, so they're the elementals and the devas, and it's wonderful to invite them to play the game. So we know that we have crystals, they've been used over the ages. We've had crystals and we know they have certain vibrations and frequencies, so if we carry them near us, they will help us to align to those clearer energies when we have maybe some more chaotic or blocked energies in our system. So it's been used for eons. Nonetheless, we know that from quartz crystals or from others, we need to maintain them, so we need to clear them. They take on negative energy sometimes.
They certainly do, yeah.
So sometimes they may take a load from us, and we need to take them somewhere and clear them, water, or however it is for us. So, so on the level of consciousness, you've got the mineral kingdom, you've got the animal kingdom, and you've got humanity. So we have to somehow manage them, or we can manage them. They don't have the consciousness to clear themselves. We can help, and we can help them with all the trauma that they've experienced over the hundreds of thousands of years. They've been part of Earth's history as well, and we can really allow them to shine their light and their divinity. Okay, and we can do that.
The quartz themselves.
The quartz and the minerals.
Because they're like beings.
They're this consciousness.
Okay.
Now the light crystals are from the angelic realm, which is above us. So we can use the light crystals to help us to reconnect.
I mean, these being light crystals.
These being the light crystals.
But they're manufactured.
These are manufactured, so they're quartz, and we also have zirconia. But they were told by Metatron that glass and zirconia is a good carrier for the light information and the light energy. And it's more difficult to have all the same quartz crystals. And if you had a quartz crystal and you did this infusion, it would probably overshadow everything that was in the quartz crystal and give it this really high divine connection. So they take glass because they can reproduce it so that I have all the same products, so to speak.
The same energetics. I mean, so if you use quartz, it would be different because the quartz themselves are different.
It would be different because of the shape and the size, and then you couldn't.
And the energetics
that's right.
of that.
But we find that the glass is a wonderful carrier, and so the properties about the light crystals, because again they're from the angels, is that you don't have to clear them. They're always on. This divine energy goes to the 7th dimension and higher, which is the master level. And the master level doesn't absorb negative energy, it's transforming. So all the light crystals, when you're wearing them, they're transforming constantly the energy around you, which is very useful because it's the angelic level. So they're always on, and Metatron says that the agreement with the Litios light crystals is that there are angels, the consciousness of angels working through all of them. So when you have these in your space, they will actually adjust their energy according to the people that are there or for your particular energy signature, which means if I wear a pendant and you wear the same pendant, I will be calling different aspects of that crystal, or the angels will be opening up different gifts.
But why do the angels need these things to access? I mean, aren't they all around us all the time? I mean,
it's true. It's a paradox, and the angels aren't affected, however, by the energies that we're around, whereas we are. We're incarnated beings. We have the physical body. We have the different energy levels. So the paradox is, yes, we know remote healing works, but we know local healing works as well. So if I'm here and I've got my energy system and I experience a shock nearby, it's a local phenomena. I feel it here. Or if I'm ill, then the aura will show it. So there are local aspects, and we walk around in society and we're bombarded daily by all these different energies. Some of them are wonderful and some of them are not so wonderful. So it is about kind of having a divine light tool near your aura and your body, which is the local part of you, which is the physical part.
So they're like antennas then, in that
they are
angel antenna.
Perfect. They're like transmitter receivers.
And by having one of these, I mean, this feels nice. I mean, but what does it do to?
So what it does, it basically infuses your aura and your body with higher vibrating energies. Now, we talk about the shift that's taking place now.
Yes, there's a shift.
So we're pretty clear there's a shift taking place, and for thousands of years we've been incarnating, and the soul has been playing different games. We've been playing light and dark, and man and woman, and priest and the whore, and the rich man and the poor man. So the soul wanted to experience all facets of it, and this particular cycle is coming to an end now. We really identified with the third dimension, and that was the game that we agreed upon, for better or worse, and it was good and it was painful, and throughout that time, we also collected a lot of experiences, and we made a lot of decisions, which was based on best knowledge at the time, but not very useful now. Things like, I'm not good enough, or next time I will never, or things that we take from one life to the other. And we take them, for example, in our energy system, we definitely take them in our chakras. We see chakras as centers of consciousness, and we store all of our experiences in the different chakras. So right now, the soul is we're coming to the point where the soul says, great, we're going to the next level, and I got some old baggage, and so I need to make that present, I need to make it conscious and release it.
So it brings up to the surface.
So we're bringing stuff up to the surface.
With these tools?
Well, it's not so much with the tools, they can, but I'm saying your soul is...
the soul in this time of transition is now bringing things up for us to clear.
Bring things up to clear because it wants to let go of it, because these are like, when you've got 4 tires and one of them's a little bit flat, the car can't really run. Just like the chakras, if there's one chakra that has an old experience or attachment or possession or whatever, it's not possible to clearly have a channel that works to really expand into the light that we're going to.
Right.
So part of what the process is to get clear, and we work specifically with the energy fields and the chakras, but when you have one of these, it's generally raising your vibration all the time, and this is great because the crystals can't solve your problems, but in time they will give you the clarity that when you do come across to a crossroad, you will make a decision which is in line with your higher self or in line with your soul path.
So what do you feel from each of these? I mean, when you feel them, I mean, you're feeling something and it's which tool would you use for what? Or if people wanted to buy these?
Right, okay. So we have many different light crystals, and everyone has, of course, their own energy and their own lessons that they're working on right now. So there may be a crystal that may be the right one for the next 1 or 2 years, So I had what we call an angel's pendant. I wore that for 2 years. Then I wore the Buddha pendant for 2 years.
What did the angel pendant do for you?
Oh, just clarity, and it helped me to sort of shield out the outside, because a lot of us have antennas, and then we just get very, very distracted, because, again, we're in a sea of energy, and a lot of us are just still learning to, on the one hand, open up and not being, completely inundated by all the impulses around here, which are getting more and more. When you talk about not just spiritual or thoughts, but also technical energy in the last 20 years that we've created through, all the propagation through cell phones and wireless LAN and everything. So and so we just you can use the crystals to help you to shield those off. The pendants are very, very good for creating. It's doing 2 things. It's creating a protective shield, but it's also upping the energy in your and giving you clarity in your aura. So you'll start closing the holes in your aura over time. And of course, then you go through a lesson, you release something, and then the crystal will help you to vibrate and transform to the higher level, and then you can work on the next things. But you become more and more clear in time. And we've had that, hundreds of people getting back to us saying, I wear the crystal 24/7, wouldn't take it off. And it's not that you were cheating, but in Atlantis, we were very, very evolved, and yet we had a house full of light crystals, So who am I to say whether I need a light crystal or not?
No, but they're tools. I mean, we are here, and we're being assisted with certain tools to help our evolution.
Right.
So I'm very drawn to this one that has this Merkaba in it.
Correct.
What is this actually for?
So
you want to hold this
I can
up
hold
to
it.
the
Yes.
camera?
So this is a Merkaba sphere. So a Merkaba is a tetrahedral. It's 2 3-sided base pyramids within another.
Intersecting,
and so it's a geometric shape, one of the universal building blocks. And they also say that we all have a Merkaba.
Yeah, around us. That is...
We have a Merkaba.
Our energy.
The tip is above us and below us. And when we actually went... At the very beginning, we went out into the universes. They call it the light vehicle. So it's actually something that we had that spins and allows us to go to the different universes.
Right.
Now, in being here on the Earth, with all of the experiences and some of the shocks, it's kind of like shut down and turned off, just like a lot of our telepathy and our access to the higher spheres has just been a little bit shut down so that we get to experience 3D properly, I would say.
Right.
But we all have a Merkaba. So when you have this in your space, the Merkaba, because it's a spinning in energy, it also helps to loosen up crystallized energies in your system. So when you actually hold, you feel yourself vibrating higher. It's very good for unlocking some of the stuff that, the sticky stuff that you're still holding on that you want to let go, but you don't.
And you can have this in your house. Let me try some of this unlocking sticky stuff right here. Yeah.
You can have it in your house, and the vibration of the crystal will fill not just the room, but the whole house. So that's certainly the Merkaba in that size. And
the other thing that you should tell people is that the image inside this glass it doesn't have a radiating form. It's just a signature.
Yeah, these are laser engraved to make it look nice, but the energy that is infused by the angel on this sphere, of course, is the Merkaba energy, and that's the big part. So the symbol contributes very, very little to the actual radiance that it has.
So the people in Germany who are activating these, do they say, okay, now we're going to do a Merkaba energy thing, or do they get directions on
I think it's both. I think it's both. Again, they've had some history, they have some ideas, and sometimes I know that with this evolutionary wand here,
this is the evolutionary wand?
Yes, they had an idea about how to do it, and they knew it was connected to the DNA as well, so that you could really clear down to the very cell level. And so they had an idea, and it didn't quite work, and then Metatron said, well, just do a 12 spiral from top to bottom. And it was a very, very simple form, so that's the result of it. So,
and this other wand here, this other.
Yeah, this wand is. So we also do work with the crystals. So it's not just we have them in our space, but we actually train people to work energetically and with the light crystals. So these are very, very powerful light tools, and this is called the Melchizedek wand. And Melchizedek and Metatron, Melchizedek, and Jesus are the three I'll call patrons of the Litios crystals. They're always present. They were the ones that initiated the crystals. So we have the Melchizedek wand, and it's called the Fire of the Holy Spirit. So this is a healing tool, and you would use it on the chakras or somewhere in the energy field to either draw out a block or to replace it with high divine light.
If you wanted to use it on me, how would you use it?
So depending on where you're at, I may have you hold it as a meditation, so it completely work on your whole aura. Or it also could be that I work on one end. We have what we call an alpha end.
Yeah.
There's the letter alpha on here, and that's the side that would draw out energy. So if we've detected that you have a block or a certain issue here, and you're okay to energetic release it, we would actually point it towards there, hold it here. So if it was somewhere in the heart space, it would be here, and then it would draw out that energy. Very often people feel that. And once we've done that, of course, because when there's a void in the universe, the universe wants to fill it. So we fill it with divine light. So this is, again, connected to the primordial light, and would actually send in divine light into the area.
Through the omega end.
So now the omega end is now infusing that space and filling it and rounding it with I'll call you your soul information.
I feel something, actually. I just feel that. Wow. Very interesting.
So, and one other thing about the crystals is that the angels will adjust the energy, and that's the unique thing. It's got the dynamic consciousness in it, and you asked about why the angels, why local.
Yeah.
Well, because again, we have the body, but if I'm wearing a pendant, it will actually open up the gifts, and it will actually, after maybe one day, the first day, some people say, wow, I really felt the energy and it's really clear, but after in time, it flattens out, and what happens is that the angels are upping the energy just slightly to basically adjusting it so that you grow into the energy and you grow into the bigger energy.
Well, you know what I find that's different than these crystals as opposed to regular quartz crystals, that these seem to be interdimensional bridges where quartz works pretty much 3D, as vibratory accelerators, but they don't necessarily go interdimensionally. These seem to be bridges.
Absolutely. So you're seeing this glass wand. What I see is when I work with something is this huge, let's say, interdimensional tube or spiral. So the energy goes out, and Melchizedek and the others working around it basically transform it and take those energies to the next level. And it could be that you're carrying aspects of a deceased soul or something like that, and then that energy would actually be taken by Archangel Michael, for example, to its next level of teaching or to its home or however it is. So our work is we want your light to shine. We want you to go out and really shine your light. That's the best thing all of us can do. So what we do in our courses is we teach to find out what's preventing that. And very often, as I mentioned, we have the stories in the chakras. We have blocks. We have things that are actually preventing the chakra, so active things. We discover patterns, social conditioning, things that are blocking a chakra, but it could be that it could be a deceased soul. It could be that it is a black magic curse on the soul, and it
So
could
these
be
can release those as well.
absolutely, because this is the fire of the Holy Spirit, as we call it. This is basically Melchizedek, and he is one of the highest beings.
Let me try that again.
And Melchizedek maintains the order in the universe. So when you call him in, it's a very clear energy, and it's like no questions asked. And we've even worked on these to remove implants, including ET implants in the system. And very often we're surprised at how often this comes up for people. And keep in mind that we've been coming to this earth so many times, and even after Atlantis, that we have made agreements and contracts with other beings or at groups or however it is, and they are still with us.
And it gets stuck inside of
And
our
sometimes
soul body.
And sometimes we need to break the contract, the agreement. You could say, I want to let go of this energy, but wait a second, no, there's an agreement you made. But if you're conscious of it, you say, no, this is the shift, that was old, now is now, and I'm a free soul, a free spirit, and I'm going to release it. And then you can really, with these tools, totally dissolve those energies.
So if you're using the wand, the Holy Spirit, you can actually release those things faster and more consciously, and you won't have that same resistance, right?
Correct, that's right, yeah.
So this is you used this the other day in a group meditation. What is this one called?
So this is called, we call it the Angel's Gate for short. It's the Gate of Ascension. So this is basically a portal directly to Archangel Metatron. So this is, when we have this in a room, it's really the highest primordial light coming down and being transferred throughout the room. It's really a transmitter receiver. And you can have it in the home. So you can see there's an angel there.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a wonderful crystal, and we know many people who have it, families, friends, when they have it in the home, they just say the energy has gotten better in the home. It's gotten clearer, it's gotten stronger, much more harmonious.
What's this one called again?
The Angel's Gate.
Okay.
And we also work with many therapists and many doctor psychologists who have these light tools in their practice, and they don't tell the people, it's not about need to tell them what it is, but they have them. And what it does, it infuses the space with this high vibrational energy, so if clients come to them, the clients are, let's say, cleared as they come into the room because it's full of the angel energy. And our agreement is that we ask the angels when they come in, using the gate, to switch the person on temporarily or whatever, so they really get what you have to say. And then the therapist, the doctor, the psychologist, they feel energetically protected, the client feels safe, and you can really work with the client and not their entourage of energies that they bring with them.
So this one switches, it's a switch on, like the light switch.
This is really, all the crystals do radiate this. This is really not only for a home, you could actually do a whole apartment with this. That's how powerful it can be. And and again, it's Metatron. You can meditate with it as well, of course. Many people have it on their altar, or they'll have it on a place in their house where you can see it. And it's very, very versatile. For example, we use this to clear our quartz crystals.
I see.
We put this quartz crystal around, and we ask the angels then to clear it, and the next day, all that, say, the negativity or what they absorb is gone, and we ask them to really allow those to shine their light. And it could be also for an heirloom or something you inherited or an object, you can clear it.
So when you're looking at this, are you seeing any particular energies? What do you see with those higher mind eyes?
Well, what I'm feeling right now is from a very high level, there's this light coming down, this energy coming down, it's radiating in the room. When I do a lecture with 100, 150 people in a large room, and I come in, I put this on the podium, and I ask Metatron to come in and through the gate to clear the room. It's very fast.
You have 65 different tools, and tell people then how to find these and what to order and what to look for on your website.
We are on Litios CA, so it's LITIOS, www.litios.ca. We have all the crystals that are there. We have a description also of all the light crystals, so if you click on them, you can see them, and you can choose them. What you can also do, if you're interested in crystals, and you see there's one or two, you can write us an email and say, I've gone on your website, I'm interested, but I'm not quite sure. My wife, Ursula, we teach dowsing in the course, so we can actually test out what is the best crystal that's in your highest interest. So you may want one of the most expensive one. We may test out that it's another one that is not, but it's the one energetically, the one that will serve you the most. And you can also, gifts, or for other people, we can test over you as well. That works very, very well. And
so, no, this is amazing technology directly from the angels, from the
Correct.
Metatronic field. Do you feel you're in direct touch with Metatron in a way?
Yes, I am. I feel I'm very much connected. We try to keep an open heart. We have the crystals, and of course, we're going through our stuff as well. Everyone is. No one's immune. This is so with the lessons that we have, we also use the crystals to get clarity as well when things come up for us. And yes, we feel very connected to Metatron. And I've been told very often that when I come in, they found Metatronic energy. I've had people say behind me, is Michael, Archangel Michael's very much behind us. So we call them in, and of course, the point is that we want to inspire people, and we want them, again, to light up, because our purpose is to get you so clear that you go out into the world and you shine your light, you know?
It's beautiful. Just one last question. As you see, as we use these tools, as they incorporate more into our culture, what does the future look like? What's your vision as a visionary that you see for the planet?
Well, I think the shift taking place is a collective, obviously. So to talk about the second coming of the Christ, I think actually we're it. I think we're the ones that are actually opening up, because, you know, it's not about the teacher doing your final exam. This is our final exam, and we're all part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and this is it, you know. So I think the shift is taking place, and people, you know, even with all the so-called negativity, I think there's more good karma being done than bad karma, if you want to call it that.
Yes.
I think in 50 to 100 years, our children and grandchildren will be will be bringing in light codes, and there'll be just a different structure than we will be, and we're setting the pace so that when we come back afterwards, we fill into that. So it's just basically an evolution. And I think the golden age is coming. I think a lot of the systems are bucking right now, and they're really, you know, the money system, the political system. So we'll see how that is coming up. But I think behind it, there's a very strong spiritual hierarchy that is working with the plan, and we're all working to that. So we're doing our small part. And we would be delighted if we could inspire you with the work that we do, be it in the seminars or the light crystals.
No, the longer I sit next to them right here, the more like I start to feel this subtle movement. When I just sit down with them, well, okay, they're nice pieces of glass, but as I start to relate to them, I feel them working on subtle energetic levels.
Right. And we are doing our training on May 5th to the 7th in Toronto. It's a 3-day light priest training for those who feel called. Go into your heart and see if it's something for you.
And what's the website?
It's the website litios.ca, www.litios.ca. And my wife and I would be wonderful to greet you at some point in the future.
Peter's wife, Ursula, is very much a part of understanding this new technology. Thank you, Peter, for sharing your, you know, discoveries, your wisdom, your visions, and to presenting this as a tool for people who are waking up.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I thank you for your time, and I thank New York for welcoming us for the first time in the United States.
I'm happy you're on the show. You share this new technology. Look for it, Litios Light Crystals, and bring them into your home. And thank you for watching. This is Alan Steinfeld for Newrealities. Go to newrealities.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/newrealities. And I've been talking to Peter now. So thanks for watching.